there's definitely an interesting talking point that I saw get brought up a few times, and I wrote it down not too long ago because it's one of those things where it didn't need like my immediate attention, but I saw a couple people bring it up um just recently on my timeline, and I figured this will be a really really great conversation to have. So, um let's talk albums and projects and EPs. There is always been this question that has been floating around in the underground creative space for quite a while, and you'll see people have a lot of different fucking takes on this. Like, there are people that just will just have opposite, fucking opinions and this, that, and the third. And the ultimate question is, should you drop a quote unquote album or project as an independent underground artist, right? With a small following. Obviously I'm not talking about anybody with a decent sized following. Um, you know, this is an interesting one for me because um, you know, I'm a person who has dropped probably close to like 10 instrumental projects throughout my career, and I've seen a lot of really really talented mutuals of mine um put out projects of their own. And it's kind of weird because this isn't really um like an answer to this question, should you drop an album or not, because there really is no definitive answer. Like, it's going to be different for everybody, especially, during different times. So that's really like a question where you can't really like narrow it down to like a solution for every single artist. Like, there is no one size fits all answer for that. Um but at the end of the day, if you're asking yourself that question, the answer is yes. Like, if you're sitting on a bunch of music, or you have a really dope idea, or you want to present, a theme to whatever kind of audience you have, without a doubt, without a doubt, like I don't give a fuck what Russ says. I don't give a fuck what, X, Y, or Z says. Everybody's gonna be different, right? And these people are like so correct in the aspect that what worked for them is the only thing that they can speak on, and that's fine. But nobody really speaks on the fact that it's different for everybody. So if you're not comfortable dropping a fucking album, don't drop the album. But if you put like a lot of time and effort into like 5 or 6 songs, or you want to make a 13-track album and put a theme behind it, like, go ahead and drop that shit. Because looking at your plays when you release an album compared to when you release a single is fucking pointless, right? Especially if you're so early on in your career that you're struggling to like maintain a decent set of plays for every track you drop anyway. So it's not going to make a difference whether you drop an album or a project or not. It's just really not. It's really fucking not. And like, that's the reality of it. Like, a lot of people like want to blame, like, oh, like, people drop off, the plays stop after like the third track, da 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 da. Nobody fucking cares. Like, it's not about like music is not that disposable as to where you need to like make sure you get the most out of your album in like a month, and like that's it, like it's dead. Like, that's not how this works. Like, that's why a lot of like the really successful artists that came from like an underground independent space over the last like 5 years had a pretty big discography, because they didn't listen to that shit. They were like, yeah, let's put together a project and let's put a theme behind it. Let's get some dope cover art, da 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 da. Like, if it's working for you, why the fuck would you change it? That's the thing with that. Like, you can't really like put a certain jacket on somebody because it worked for this person. Um, And the main reason for that is because not everybody's audience is going to be the same. You know what I mean? And um like if people are going to fuck with your shit, and this goes for even like stuff outside of music, if people are going to enjoy what you have going on, they're going to enjoy it. Period. Whether you give them a fucking uh 13 track album, you give them a 4 song EP, or you give them a fucking single, if they like it, they like it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing with that. And like a lot of this shit is for you as well. Like I feel like the people that listen to that rule kind of like don't make music for like themselves. Like they're trying to like appease a fucking audience, and like they know that like the random like couple one-off groups that they're gonna hit by dropping a single are gonna drop off with an album, and like that's just fucking insecure shit, bro. Like you gotta be way more confident in that in your fucking uh and your art to just let go of a really good idea and a theme, and like a lot of that fire that you have in the moment goes away. So like yeah, you could come up with a great concept for an album, but if you fucking sleep on it, you're not going to feel the same way you do 6 months, 6 days, fucking 6 years down the road. You know what I mean? Like yeah, sure, like some of the concepts will still be there, but that passion won't be. You know what I mean? Like life is way too short for that shit. Like put the project out, you know what I mean? Like the thing is like I think people like worry too much about whether they should or not, and whether it's a fucking good presentation or not. Like you don't need a fucking budget, but you have to act like you give a fuck about the release. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to see like a new project out now. It's a fucking SoundCloud link, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, and people want to question why the fuck their projects don't do well because you're not treating it like a project, bro. Straight up, like at the end of the day, like that's like the real rough answer for that. And like it's not whether you should drop a project or not, it's really like are you gonna like treat it like a fucking project? That's the big deal there. Cause like, for some people managing a project is a lot of work, you're talking about credits, features, beats, blah 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 blah. Coming up with theme, cover art, promotion. And like I said, like you don't need a budget, but like people act like they're gonna have like $1 million behind an album, and if it doesn't fucking get 50,000 plays on each song, they're fucked. And they're not gonna be able to feed their dog or pay their rent. Like, bro, get a fucking grip, bro. Like, get a grip. Like, that's the thing with that, man. Like, don't like gatekeep yourself from really good ideas because you saw somebody on the internet say that, oh, this works for me. That's great and all. Like, there are a lot of like really good strategies and like ways to approach certain ideas, but there is no like one size fits all answer for this shit. Like everybody's journey and path is going to be very very different. And like I said, like there's going to be like tools and tips and like things to like help you along the way. But like at the end of the day, like you're not going to sit there and fucking, copy like one on one for like what somebody's doing. You know what I mean? Like that's the really big deal with that. So drop the project, drop the album, drop the EP because nobody cares, man. Nobody fucking cares. Like nobody cares whether it is an album or not. You know what I mean? Like if they enjoy the piece that they're consuming, they're gonna let you know about it. You know what I mean? They're gonna let you know about it. And like the fact that this is even still a like conversation is kind of hilarious because like you have so many like underground artists that have these large discographies that like uh, there's so many artists I could pull out, you know what I mean? Um, like Jesus, man, like Tyler the Creator, Bones, Xavier Wolf, Raider Clan. Like you could even go to like higher mainstream acts that blew up recently. Juice World was another one with a massive discography, and some of his shit's still getting leaked. Like the thing that people don't understand is if like it's good, people are gonna like it. Doesn't matter how the fuck um you feel about it. As long as you're putting like your passion behind it, who cares? You know? Who cares? Like a lot of this shit like lives on forever, like past like what we see. So like if you want something in your library and you want to put it out into the world and it means more to you, whether people like get what you're getting from it or not, then I totally recommend. you put that project out. But like at the same time, I'm the same person who's going to tell you to take that shit serious too, because there's no point in trying to like go through all the work of putting an EP or a project together and not like have it look nice at least. You know what I mean? Like even if it's like a mixtape kind of project where it's just like a compilation of shit, you're just throwing together some old throwaways. Like at least put something nice behind it so people can have something to like grasp onto and like it's like sustainable. Like that's like the big thing there. So that's what I think matters more. Like rather than like if you should drop an album or not, as opposed to like are you gonna like treat it like a project or an album? Because if you're not, then no, you shouldn't. But if you are, then yeah, fuck yeah. Because like the more confident you are behind it, the better it is for other people. Because they're gonna see that you're confident behind it, and they're gonna be like, damn, this guy like loves what he does, like regardless. That's why I say like stop like trying to like walk on eggshells for like certain shit. Because like a lot of people like um will like try to tell you like what works for them, but like I said from the start, like nobody will tell you that it's different, but there are just strategies to do certain ideas. You know what I mean? So like you have an idea, there's strategies for it, but like to like come up with like a full blueprint for like somebody's like A to Z career, you're fucking drunk. You're not cooking that up. You're just not. So um yeah, that's my take on it, man. Like and like fuck my instrumental albums. I actually put it like I have Not Your Love out, which I put out in 2019, and that was every single song had a feature besides the intro and outro, and it was all prod me. So like even as a producer, like I've put out an album that was like my most successful piece of work to date. So like do whatever you want to do, man. You know what I mean? Like definitely don't listen to somebody that is just like kind of talking like through their perception of things rather than like somebody who's being unbiased. 'Cause I try to be unbiased in the aspect that like um you know everything we do here is to benefit. So like there's no need for me to like gas somebody up or like try to steer somebody in the wrong direction, you know? That's why I stay unbiased. But that's my take on the whole project album EP kind of situation. It's very interesting to me that people still have this conversation and watch others like put out very successful projects and still go back and question whether they should put out a project or not. I just think it's fucking ludicrous, bro. It's got to be the most ludicrous shit ever. But that's that, my friends. If you'd like to put out a project, I recommend you do. You know, I recommend you do because it's important for your library. Very very important for your library. So that's that.